Okay, I just wanted to show you a little bit of synchronicity that was going on. I just realised I thought I'd share with you. Just sat here watching the new X-Men, the one about them travelling from the future into the past, as it were. You know, you got Charles Xavier from the X-Men. Who knows Charles Xavier? Anyway, I just happened to be doing a little bit of sanding work, you know, making some models and things for my film. And just suddenly noticed this. And I thought, wait a minute, this guy actually looks a little bit like the guy Charles Xavier, you know, in the past. And then you got Charles Xavier in the future. Just a little bit of synchronicity. And even the year, 1974. Go watch that, the new X-Men film. Yeah? Future Days of Future Past, or whatever it's called. This is kind of bizarre. This is kind of bizarre. This is like how synchronicity, you know, severing his spine. I mean, how does this happen? How does this actually happen? That I'm sat here watching the X-Men, and then I just happen to be sanding, and on a piece of paper that I'm actually sanding on, this is the story. This is the story. It's bizarre, isn't it? You gotta admit, it's a bit bizarre, isn't it? Isn't it? How does synchronicity work? Eh? Maybe there's something in the story then that we should be paying attention to. Yeah? About, you know, how things are perceived, you know, those that are considered different then, those that are considered unique in the world, that seem to have special powers, as it were, you know, the power to think. Oh dear. Synchronicity or what, people? You know? I'm just looking for Magneto. Okay. I'd like to hear your thoughts anyway. It could just be coincidence, eh? Okay, just another quick one, because in the same paper, there's this headline, Jabs for the Boys. And they're talking about boys need to be given a cancer jab currently denied them by the government, says experts. Experts, right? These experts, yeah, a vaccine that could protect. And then they just put a number there. I don't know how they got to that number. You know, it must be the amount of people that I suppose have cancers, I suppose, which are on the increase, they say. They're not asking what's causing the increase. They're just saying it's on the increase. Oh, get worried, fear. And it would have just cost £24. Oh, wow, is that all it takes to mess up your life forever? £24 for something that might, you know what I mean? The HPV. Sounds all special, doesn't it? Vaccine is offered to 12-year-old boys. Yeah, just before puberty. In Australia and parts of Canada. Yeah, I wonder if they did this to the Aborigines. But the cervical cancer jab is presently restricted to girls over here. Oh no, they can't sell any drugs. HPV Action, a coalition of 25 patient and professional organisations. How patient are they, eh? Because they've been waiting a long, long time, haven't they? Believes. So it's religion then. They believe boys need to vaccinate to prevent them being exposed to HPV-related cancers and genital warts. Sounds scary, guys, doesn't it? HPV is the causal agent in 5% of all human cancers. Wow. Among cancers affecting men, it is estimated, another guess, that HPV infection is associated with up to 90% of anal cancers. Yeah, I know about anal cancers. Yeah. 60% of penile cancers. Yeah. And 75% of tonsillar and base of the tongue cancers. Don't talk. With each of these cancers having increased in incidence over the past 2 decades. In addition, it accounts for another number there of new cases of genital warts found in men in 2012. A 15% increase. There we are. Again, that word increase. Nobody's asking, what's causing the increase? Let's just treat it, you know? Treat the symptoms, you know. Don't find the cure. Don't find what's causing it. Yeah? So as well as calling on the government to act, HPV Action is urging the public to write to their MPs. Well, I don't know how they're going to do that because they don't normally write for anything, these people, do they? People are pretty lazy when it comes to writing. You know, they can't even write themselves an affidavit, you know, or anything like that. You know, they can't even write and ask certain questions and say, what does that mean? So, but they're expecting you to write, oh, check it out. You know, Tristan. Yeah. Going back to that X-Men film, Tristan. That's a name that seems to be bandied about quite a lot. There's just so many synchronicities when you look into the world, isn't there? So this person, Tristan Almada. Yeah? Almada. Alcalde Almada. Inspector, we got Almada. Anyway, Tristan Almada, who co-founded the HPV and Anal Cancer Foundation. Yeah, after losing his mother, sorry, that must have been a Freudian slip. After losing his mother to HPV-related anal cancers in 2010, said the UK should be a leader, not a laggard, to the rest of the world, being the first country to proudly say it has successfully eliminated the causal agent of the 5% of all cancer, 5%, by extending the well-implemented female-only program to boys. Yeah! Because male and female chemistry is the same, innit? Ooh, yeah. The world has used the vaccine to successfully eradicate many infectious diseases, including smallpox and polio. And it's time we act urgently to add HPV and the devastation it can cause to the list. And you can sign their petition. All right. Lots of guessing and estimating and... Anyway, just have a think about that. Right? I'd like some comments from you, and then we'll have a discussion about your comments, right? Because this is bizarre. And it comes from All Together Now magazine, the April to May edition of 2014. So, you know, let's talk about it. Peace. Right. Just finished watching the X-Men Days of Future Past, so I just thought I'd make this quick little video while I'm still got certain things fresh in my head. First of all, I'd like to say well done, you know, to everybody that made this. I mean, they're really starting to get it. I mean, one of the things I'm trying to share with everybody is that, you know, we can learn powerful morals from these myths, okay? And obviously, you know, we know it's not real, but, you know, I have to give kudos to the actors, directors, editors, cameraman, special effects guys, everybody that created that, because they made it very, very engaging, extremely engaging. When you forget that you're actually watching a movie, you know, you start to, I suppose, care about the characters. That's what it's really all about. You know, it's not about the superpowers. Those are just things that help to tell the story. You know, for a long time, Holly Weird was telling weird stories, you know, but thanks to people like us, because we know that not everybody's the same, you know, people have got a human heart, and sometimes, like it says in the film, you know, people lose their way and get lost along the way, you know, seeking revenge or based on some other, you know, dark or negative emotion. And we're not here for that. You know, you could kind of look at the story, because this is the great thing about Stanley. He knows what he was talking about, the power of bigotry, You know, people who are bigots, people who just, for the simple fact that people are different and want to live their lives differently, you know, have a problem with that and try to force their ways on other people. And that's not what we're here for. In fact, that won't produce or yield any of the good ideas, you know. This is what's wrong with the system. It's been built on competition, you know, competing with others, seeing them as the enemy. So it's so easy for them to project their fears into everybody else's head, because they're already living under a system of fear where they fear their boss, or they got to do what he tells them, or they'll lose their job, and therefore they'll lose their standard of life and everything that goes with that. And that's not what we're here for. And I'll tell you something else. If we started out in the wild, as it were, you know, before everything was built, living like that, then how many of us truly would have survived? Those are things that came about, I think, through decadence. You know, having a society that was so decadent it could afford to create elitism. You know, because when you're dealing with survival, survival is survival, and every member of the team, like the X-Men, with their unique abilities, whatever that is, their unique knowledge, unique strengths. We are all like that, you know? And that's why I keep saying, you know, everybody's a hero, but you've got to determine for yourself what you're going to do with this, you know, because the first thing is, if you're going to accuse your brother, you know, if you're going to point a finger, 3 fingers or 4 fingers may be pointing back at you. And anything you expect to change in the world must begin with yourself. Cannot begin with others. All right? And that's why it's a journey. Okay, we're all on this journey together. That's why we connect and coincide at certain junctions in our life. You know, the road of our lives. We walk along it. Some people will be with us for a certain time, and then they diverge. Going back to that movie Divergent, then that's another movie with an allegory, a story to tell. You know, it's about time that some of the good directors and the good writers have been getting out, because we have had a lot of rubbish, you know, over the years. They've been trying to promote things, and all it really took is us saying, well, no, that's not what we really want. We're not like that. You know, it's extremely uplifting, the end of the film. It's extremely powerful. You must go and see X-Men Days of Future Past. And another good one, right, is Captain America Winter Soldier. Now, they've had panned reviews, but I don't know who's watching this, because they clearly aren't a fan of the comic book series. Those who read it from the beginning as a child and connected with the power of the message that I was trying to say, of how we can actually live better. You know in your heart when you've done something good. You get that feeling. You get that feeling in your heart, yeah? And that's what it's about. Getting that feeling in your heart.